thriving in the Los Angeles area, making it one of the major Pinoy hubs here in America. Di ba, Miss?
Oh, pero Carmina, yung 200,000 na number na yan, mga legal pa lang yun, ha? Basta for sure, lahat ng mga Pinoy dyan ay sabik na sa pinaka-latest na chika tungkol sa Los Angeles at ang mga karatig pook.
At ngayon, meron na po kayong tagapaghatid ng latest LA chika. At yan ay walang iba kundi si Ana La Chica.
And today, she'll take us to a restaurant that's fast becoming a regular go-to place for the best Pinoy food in Southern California.
Kami takam na. So halina kayo direct from Los Angeles. Ito ang LA Chica.
Hello mga ka-nation! Ito po si Ana, ang inyong katsikahan dito lang sa LA Chica para sa mga Pinoy dito sa Southern California. At tinanong natin ang mga tao dito sa Panorama City kung ano ba ang kumuhuli sa kiliti nila.
My name is Ana Francesca Diaz Carlos, and I graduated from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. I majored in broadcast communication from the College of Mass Communication, and currently I am a senior producer for a home entertainment post-production company called Deluxe Digital Studios, located here in Burbank, California, as well as a freelance segment producer for Adobo Nation, which is a weekly magazine show produced by ABS-CBN or the Filipino channel here in the US. How and why is ethics important in my work? As a manager and someone who client interfaces every day, ethics helps guide the way that I conduct myself and the way that I communicate each day. As a media practitioner, it's something that has to be ingrained in your dealings with people, people that you don't know, as well as people that you've been working with for so many years. Do we follow a specific code of ethics in our workplace? So it may not be called exactly that, but we do have management training, conflict resolution training, as well as renewing security training every year, especially since for the post-production work that I do, we handle a lot of pre-release material. And so those are sensitive, and we are definitely anti-piracy. So we need to make sure that we're making all the necessary steps and precautions. We're doing all the necessary precautions to make sure that there won't be any leakage or any violation of the agreement that we have with our clients, because that could result to a lawsuit as well as loss of revenue on our client's end. For the freelance work that I do as a segment producer, of course, you have to be respectful, and you have to be fair, and you have to make sure that whatever you are presenting, how you're telling the story, is within the proper context. Consent is a very big deal. We need to get written or verbal consent for the people that we interview to make sure that they're aware of what they're being interviewed for, what it's going to be used, when it's going to be airing. And of course, for them to understand that there's going to be editing that's done. And so when they say there's things that they want to strike out or things that they want to omit from what they've said, then we have to honor that. Also, when we're shooting children, we can't just point and shoot. The same thing goes with locations. There's sometimes permits that need to be provided and filled out unless, it's a public setting and we're free to film. How is the code of ethics similar or different in the Philippines? So since I do practice here in the United States, the main difference, I think, is just in scope. There's more diversity to cover here because there's all different cultures, different races, sexual and religious preferences. There's a lot more consideration and sensitivities to be aware of. Versus, in the Philippines. But similarly, I think the code's evolving with the changing times, like with Me Too movement or Time's Up, the role of women empowerment, that's one of the things that I think both has been more of a global movement. We're realizing that it's not a patriarchal society. I mean, the Philippines is a matriarchal society, but the role of women in politics, in government, in high-paying business, we've kind of been it's been ingrained in us, in our culture, that women kind of like stay in the sidelines. And we're realizing that times are changing and that we do a lot more, and there needs to be more equality, and we need to change our own mindsets if we want things to change. So that's one of the similarities, I think, that has happened. As a media practitioner, do I believe there are instances where I do not need to uphold the code of ethics? No, I don't think so. I think you should always uphold the code of ethics, especially because you're a media practitioner, and that it's because you can influence people's opinions. You have this medium, you have this stage, you have, a way, a means to be able to communicate that to a broader audience. And so you need to put it upon yourself, and that you have to be responsible and respectful and fair always. I do believe that it's tough because not everything is black and white. There's a lot of like gray scenarios. And so one example that I could think of is currently for the freelance work that I do with ABS-CBN. One of their clients is SeaWorld. And a couple of years ago, there was this documentary that was released called Blackfish, basically revealing that these killer whales, the orcas, there was one that was abused, and that was the reason why it ended up killing one of the trainers. And it was all these years of, because they were removed from the wild. And so one of the editors that we had actually left the job and resigned. And I think, that's one example of, sticking to your code of ethics. If you believe that something's wrong, then you don't want to be associated with a company. Now, as a client though, I also know that SeaWorld does animal rescue programs as well as conservation programs. And the reason why, like similar to zoos, that the park has these animals is for people to be able to see them up close and personal, see how they behave, and they'd be able to study them in order to help them in the wild. So that's, I think, is a gray area, because there's good and bad that may have happened. Obviously, like the way that you tell the story in a documentary, the way that you edit footage, like all of that is something that could affect, it's a powerful tool to affect and to change someone's opinion, and you're presenting the story some way. And unfortunately, that's the reality, right? But that's also the power of what we have. So that's why ethics is very important to have and keep. And, you can't really pick and choose a situation where it wouldn't apply.
Ito ang inyong kapartner sa chikahan, si Anna, signing out para sa LA Chika.